Please clap for Jonah Solheim.
Today we get to find out what it's like to be allergic to beer.
And she says, well, then go. Just have 2 whiskey Cokes, you'll be good. And I say, Mom, I don't drink.
Hey, it's Adam here at Madison Story Slam, and as I said at the top, we're going to hear from Jonah Solheim and all about why he's allergic to beer. Maybe not why, but like how he found out and all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. You can go to madisonstoryslam.com and you can find the podcast there. While you're at it, why don't you go to patreon.com/madisonstoryslam and you can find out all about how you can become a patron and help the show grow and all that good stuff. You're the best. We're the best. I don't know. I just love you. So Jonah Solheim is telling a great story about how he wasn't really a drinker in high school, and even when he got to college, he kind of shied away from it. But it took a little bit of a push from his mother for him to finally figure out he should stay away from beer. Here's Jonah.
All right, so I racked my brains about what to talk about for peer pressure since literally walking off the stage. I was like, okay, what's the next thing? Because I knew it was going to be peer pressure. And I was thinking that I don't have one single story that would be long enough. I had a couple that came to mind, so I'm going to kind of overarch them together with the story of how I found out that I'm allergic to beer. I'll get there. That'll be the end of it. But so if I'm asked, I always say that I did not drink in high school. My dad is a health teacher. I early and often was told the dangers of drinking and the dangers of smoking and all that stuff. So growing up, I was always never, ever going to drink until I was old enough and all this stuff. It's not strictly true. When I was 15, I went to a friend's house who he still has, I think, the largest house I've ever seen in my life. We were driving up. My little sister says very quietly from the back seat, "Does he live in a castle?" And my dad goes, "Yeah." And we walk in, and I've never been to this house before, and we walk in, and he gives me the tour. And now, in my family, the tour would be, here's the bathroom, here's the bedroom, here's the basement, we're done. His tour was 20 full minutes. It included a sweep through a wing of his house that they don't use. He said, we just have the housekeeper go here because it gets dusty. It included a home gym. I don't know why you would have that in your house, but like a whole section of the house they don't even touch. Anyway, we're in his very fully furnished, very nice basement, and he pulls out a bottle of gin, and he says, we should drink some of this. And I'm like, I don't want to, I never have, so peer pressure. He pours me, I think, half a shot, and I peed, I think, 19 times. I just kept getting up because he told me about breaking the seal. So I was like, oh, I peed, now I'm gonna, and I was running to the bathroom, did not get drunk. Don't know what 15-year-olds, that's what 15-year-olds think drinking is. Cut to my freshman year of college. I had done some more drinking after graduating to prepare for college, because that's what you do, right? And I hate college. I have been in school for like 3 months. I don't have very many friends. I don't know what my major is going to be. I miss my home and my friends from home and all that stuff. And it's Halloween, and my mom messaged me on Facebook, and she says, what are your plans for Halloween? Because it's a big party holiday for college students. And I say, I'm going to sit in my room, and I'm going to eat chips and watch all of the Saw movies in a row. And she goes, you shouldn't do that. And she says, what is your roommate doing? And this is a guy that I had been randomly paired with. We got along decently at the beginning. And she said, what's he doing? And I said, well, he's going to a party at the theater house. And she says, will there be alcohol there? And I said, yeah, probably. It's owned by some seniors. And she says, do you have to drive there? And I said, I don't own a car, so no. And she says, well, then go. Just have 2 whiskey Cokes, you'll be good. And I say, Mom, I don't drink. I have never. She goes, no, just go to the party. she knows. So I go to the party, I have the 2 drinks, and I discover whiskey. And at this point, I still have never touched a beer. I don't like the smell of it. No one in my family really drinks it. No one in my family really drinks at all, aside from a few glasses of wine at Christmas and stuff like that. So also don't know the culture around any of these drinking traditions and things. So now I am in my second semester of freshman year, and I have joined a fraternity. And this fraternity is internationally known. It is fully, very vehemently anti-hazing. So there's no peer, or there should not be any peer pressure. Inevitably, with a bunch of guys, there is. But I go to my first formal, which is at a hotel in, I think it was Milwaukee. I think that was that year. And we had to do conversations. They're called convos with the older brothers to get to know all of the guys in the fraternity. And there were like 80 of them the year that I rushed. So I'm making my way through all these people. And one of the last guys was a guy named Steve, who I had never met before. He was a senior. I'm a freshman. And I had been hearing rumbles about this guy from other people that his convo involved drinking, which is not strictly allowed. And I found myself in his room at some point, kind of after staggering around to other rooms, having ingested some alcohol. And I walk into his room, and he sees me, and he points at me, and he goes, "You're doing the convo now." And I was like, oh, okay. And he holds up a beer bong and a beer, and he goes, "Do you want a shotgun or do you want a beer bong?" And I go, "I've never done either of those things or had a whole beer." So he goes, "Beer bong." So I do the beer bong, and then I woke up. There's a thing that happens when you're allergic to beer is that you have like one or two and you get very, very drunk, at least in my experience in my family. My dad is also allergic to beer, which I did not know until I relayed this information to him because I was concerned. And I spent the whole rest of the morning kind of stumbling around looking for my glasses and my backpack and getting all filled in on all of the things that I did after I drank my first beer. And there's just a lot of things wrong with my body, but beer was something that I would have liked to have known beforehand. Maybe I should have been peer pressured into drinking a beer before then. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonah.